Last time on Improv Tabletop, we met with our 3 new heroes who have just become members of the Protectors of Jasmine Island, entering into the tea ceremony by which they would commit themselves to the protection of this wonderful place and the tea that it produces and the people who produce the tea. After they had their ceremony, we learned a little bit more about who they each were. They went out into the bay to celebrate with their families, some families larger than others, some families more crazy than others, some families more stoic and stuck up than others. During the midst of this, Natsuki got so fed up with her grandmother that she splashed some tea right into her face, but fortunately didn't see the brunt of the anger because the grandmother became distracted by seeing something further out in the bay, a Fire Nation warship moving straight towards Jasmine Island, and in a smaller vessel, shooting gouts of flame at the warship, Heiron, the former Grand Mistress of the Firebending Academy in the Fire Nation, former companion to Avatar Karuk and current mother of Avatar Kyoshi's partner, she was also out there, and instantly you guys were like, okay, everybody else, back to the shore, start setting up a blockade, start setting up defenses. Io decided to read the situation and figured that maybe you could have a chance of talking to these guys and seeing what was going on. So we left off at the end of last episode with all ships but one heading back into the port, with this one ship containing our heroes getting ready to talk to some pirates. What's going to happen as they begin this parley? Let's find out here in the world of Jasmine Island. What's shaking, everybody? You're listening to Imp Tab Avatar Jasmine Island, the Avatar Legends actual play where we continue to make up less than ever before on the spot. I'm Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I'm joined by
Christian Randall playing Yarru.
Connor Wood, drinker of tea.
Sammy Ryan. I accidentally named my character Natsuki instead of Natsumi after this children's book that I meant to name her after.
Close enough.
Well, you have 4 more characters in this campaign, so that's 4 more chances to get it right.
Natsumi will be Natsuki's daughter or grandchild.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is kind of like, I mentioned in our first episode that this game is kind of like playing Betrayal Legacy. And when I was playing Betrayal Legacy with Sammy and Thomas, it got to this point where every single one of Sammy's characters, their name was just like a variation or respelling of the name of a previous character.
That's my favorite thing I've ever done. It was like Brunhilda, Hildebruno, Hildebruna.
Awesome.
And so we could just continue that legacy here in Avatar Legends. Well, the 3 of you are speeding out towards the pirate ship. Io, you managed to find a piece of sailcloth that you could fashion into a white flag that you could wave to signal your peaceful intent. And as you start getting in closer, I will give us all one more opportunity to assess the situation as we start getting in really close so that we can be a bit more prepared to know what we're getting into as we're starting to like see the whites of the eyes of the people on the ship and whatnot. If I recall correctly, Io is the only one here with good creativity.
Mine is good. Yes, +3.
-1.
Mine is 0.
Yes. So I think it would be in our best interests if we have Connor roll for this one. 2d6 plus creativity.
Yeah, that would behoove us. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got an 11 on the roll, +3. 14.
Yep, that's really good.
Let's go.
All right, so you get to ask 2 questions from our list. And one thing that I need to keep reminding myself, I forget this every time I play Avatar Legends, I forget this every time I play Dungeon World, you take +1 ongoing while you're acting on the answers you receive from assessing the situation.
Awesome.
So, 2 questions from our list. What here can I use to blank? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my best way out, in, or through? Who or what is in the greatest danger?
Yeah, out, in, through. I am already waving the flag. Maybe I need to look more cute or something.
Yeah, as you are kind of getting closer, you're looking at the people up top. You're also looking at the vessel itself. None of you have ever seen a ship of this type of construction before. It is iron and steel all across the hull, presumably galvanized in some sort of way to prevent it from rusting. And the mechanisms that are controlling the sails are like nothing you've seen before. These incredible works of gears and pulleys and ratchets. Whoever designed this ship is like a phenomenal architectural mastermind, you must imagine. But you also see there are places where it looks like this is maybe a bit of an experimental craft that we're working on here. In particular, the side, we'll say the sort of starboard side as you're kind of coming in from an angle, you can see that there are some panels along the side where some of the rivets have kind of popped open, leaving some empty spaces where the seawater and the air can get in and whatnot. So there are places where it's a little bit rickety. That is potentially a way in, out, or through. But as far as like the social situation, the best way through, I'll give you a sense of like the people that you're going to be speaking to up on the railing. You can see, of course, there is your standard expected ragtag sort of group of miscreants and freebooters from every walk of life who are lining the rails, people from every single nation who have decided that they would rather, live a life of freedom on the high seas, stealing from honest people instead of trying to be an honest person themselves. But there is one particular person who kind of takes the focus, someone who everybody else on the deck is obviously acting kind of deferentially towards. It is this man who's dressed in really nice clothing as far as pirates go, fairly well put together, a nice buttoned up tunic all the way to his neck, a fine collar, and he has an air of sort of congeniality about him, someone who is a bit more well-read, a bit more educated than the other people there. So as far as what's your best way through interacting with these people, that's the guy that you want to be talking to. This is a man of culture. You yourself are a man of culture, Io. So try to connect with this guy on some of your higher-minded sort of aspects that you have in common, you would think.
Sweet. I feel like I've got enough from that. Even the other questions, I feel like we're good to proceed.
Yeah. One of the ways that these moves work is it's not necessarily has to be instant. You can ask any two of these questions while the situation is relevant.
Cool.
So you can hold on to that second question until a time when you feel like you want to ask it.
Yeah, I feel like a little more close to the situation would be good to use that secondary assessment.
Indeed.
Okay, sweet. So we have a physical way through and we have a diplomatic way through. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Getting up close, when the group of pirates sees you moving in with the white flag raised, you see the finely dressed gentleman kind of turns to his other crewmates and points at you and starts speaking to them, and they kind of start nodding in agreement. They're going to be peaceful with you, but there's another group of the crew that is still trying to ward off the big bursts of flame coming up towards the ship. But then when Hayron notices that these other people have noticed you and are kind of taking a subtler approach, she turns her ship towards you and just shoots flames out of both of her fists behind her, and the ship starts scudding straight across the waves towards you guys. And she pulls up short and says, "What on earth are you doing? This is my jurisdiction. I am going to make sure that this is handled."
Excuse me.
Hey, we got this. Look, we're protectors, all right? That's what we do. We protect. We're meeting the issue head on. Also, this was Natsuki's idea, so if anyone's going to get in trouble, it shouldn't be me.
Wow, way to really just lay the blame there. All right, fine, I'll take it.
Thank you.
I was about to give him a pat on the back for well done, and then he threw her under the bus, and I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
And Hayron says, "Well, if anyone is going to be taking the initiative amongst you, surely it would be a woman from my own kith and kin. Now," and she turns to you, Natsuki, and says, "This is a Fire Nation matter. This is an experimental Fire Nation warship, and kidnapped aboard this vessel is my good friend, Tei Isuni, and I need to get her and bring her back to the Fire Nation and stop these pirates in the process."
Oh, okay. I mean, that seems like something we can probably help out with. You guys up for saving a hostage?
Yeah, that was already Natsuki's idea.
Well,
so
we're
a little late to the party.
We also have a situation of our own. I believe someone we're looking for is right there.
Yes, Mirlon.
He didn't look like a hostage to me, though.
He looked nervous, but I guess I look nervous on my good days, so.
And Hayron looks you up and down and says, "Oh, this is one of your good days, you say?"
No, this is a great day, so I look normal. Right, right, Yarru?
You look well.
Thank you. See?
I'm happy to defer. As you say, this is a Fire Nation matter. They're quite close to our shores. I believe this might fall under a joint jurisdiction. I'm not here to make any quick motions or, rapid decisions. Just, we are on the ocean. They are made of fire. I have a bit of an advantage. If you want me to do something, say, looks like rain, and I'll kick things off if things start to fall apart.
She looks at you a bit more curiously and says, well, it seems we have someone with at least a bit of a tactical mind here, and then gives a side eye to the two young children who are also here with you. And she, at this point, after having spoken to you, is noticeably, the steam is kind of letting off a little bit, and she's starting to think less emotionally, a bit more logically, a bit more tactically, and she leans in close and she says, I can see that your comrades are already beginning to put up some defenses back on the island. If this breaks particularly bad, I have the most experience leading large groups of individuals in military formations. And they are very, very aware of who I am and what my MO is up on that ship. Perhaps it would behoove us best if I take over leading the defenses on the shore, while you three perhaps set up a strike team and see if you can save my friend. Now, while you are engaging in this conversation, I would not assume that things are going to go well for you. These are pirates you are working with. Pirates not only working on their own, but working, if my information is correct, under Tagaka herself, the queen of the Fifth Nation, who has escaped from the prisons of Ba Sing Se and is trying to reclaim her former glory.
Ish. Yeah, that's a lot.
Sometimes I question our isolationist ideals. We could have used that information a bit earlier, but thank you for letting us know now.
I was in Ba Sing Se for a bit, but I was just doing school stuff, so this is a little news for me.
Doing school stuff. Yes, going to all of the seedy taverns, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, what? You were never young?
Yes,
come on.
How many exes did you leave behind in the streets of Ba Sing Se, I wonder?
Like a dozen?
Yo.
Maybe?
Wow.
What? I'm a player. Come on. Players gotta play. Look at my chin. They can't resist it.
Roll to trick an NPC.
Oh, cool. Okay, I got a 6 on the roll. I don't know what modifier trick an NPC.
That is plus creativity, so you get a +9.
Or not.
Pick one. They stumble, take +1 forward to acting against them. They act foolishly. I tell you what additional opportunity they give you, or they overcommit. They are deceived for some time.
Overcommit.
And she grumbles and says, I don't like your methods, but I do admit you have a great chin. Now,
Thank you.
you go talk to those pirates. Be prepared to come back to ground in case things break bad. In the meantime, I am going to go speak with the others and make sure that we have some good barricades set up. Good?
Great. By the way, before we part, let's make it look like we had a disagreement so we can maybe get in on the good graces of the pirates.
Instantly, Heron just shoots a jet of flame right above your head, just like singeing the very top of your hair. And she starts just shouting angrily, and that's why you can't trust this to the youth. You need experience, you need knowledge. I'm out of here. And she starts sailing her way back towards the shore and gives you the Fire Nation equivalent of the finger as she goes.
Yeah, well, you look like a koala bat. Got her.
For just a moment, she stops moving the skiff, and you can see her shoulders tense, and then she keeps going.
I struck a chord. Oh no, there will be consequences for this.
Take it from me, you don't want to antagonize Fire Nation.
Noted.
Yeah, you have a grandmother to deal with when you get back on the shore.
Not thinking about that right now.
Okay.
Probably for the best.
I continue waving my expertly crafted flag.
I will row us closer and, do a bit of water bending to make the boat go faster, but I don't want it to be obvious that I'm a waterbender quite yet.
All right. And getting in close, do you hail to them or do you wait for them to hail to you?
Hail!
I feel like we should hail, yeah.
Be polite, Io. Hail them.
Hail!
And the
Hail!
the finely dressed man, as you hail, he's about to respond, and then you're just kind of like, hail, hail, and you're like cutting him off every time. But finally you see he like reaches his hands up to where his brow meets his nose and massages his temples a little bit. Yes, representatives of Jasmine Island, it is good to speak with you, and good that you have gotten a little bit of a mosquito off of our trail. Yes. I am Erkte, the first in command of Queen Tagaka. I wish to speak with you about how we can come to a reasonable agreement of your surrender into the ranks of the Fifth Nation.
But of course, Honorable Erktag. You see, we are formerly of the Protector's Order of Jasmine Island. However, we have been abused many a times and think it's time for a change in leadership. Your arrival is fortuitous, so we would hear your terms with bated breath. Right, guys?
Yep, that's 100% true.
I'm following your lead here. Just let me know if the weather starts to get choppy.
Yeah.
Now, typically I probably would have you roll again to trick an NPC, but you have actually struck into a plot point. Erkte's eyebrows raise, and he calls back onto the deck and says, well, Mirlon, it seems that you are incorrect in terms of how we would be received. It seems that these three are confederate with yourself, also abused by the Protectors, also wishing to find a new order on the island.
Ah, Mirlon. We're newer, so we haven't gotten very acquainted, but yeah, the Protectors are bad.
And
right, guys?
yeah, he is kind of like peering out from behind Erkting. He's like, yeah, the Protectors, they suck. They're the worst. I have no regrets about leaving the Protectors, man.
Yeah. So, what do you want from us? As you can see, we didn't leave things off for very good terms with the head of the defense, but we may be able to sneak back over to Jasmine Island and put in a good word or two.
Yes, certainly. With moles like you working on the inside for us, surely this takeover can happen quietly and with equanimity. And no blood need be shed, no damages need be made to the island. You can simply turn yourselves over to the ruling of the Fifth Nation.
Great! So, what happens to, I don't know, the families, just the normal people there? Will they enjoy in your shared freedom?
And he looks nervous kind of at this point and starts looking back and forth between the various other crew members. And he says, well, certainly there will be many opportunities for the people of this island to continue going about their lives as if nothing had changed. And one of the pirates at the far end of the line of the rail is like, but Tagaka told us we were going to turn them all into slaves and make them do all the work for us so we can make lots of money off of the tea. And Erkte says, I'm sure that is what Tagaka said. I am sure. I'm talking with Tagaka about that point. We're going to... I'm talking with Tagaka. Here's what I'll tell you. Yes, exactly. Everything's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, a ruler with a sense of humor. That is what we need on Jasmine Island. Cool. Excuse us for a moment. Guys, this is freaking me out. I don't think we can actually side with these guys. Not that I was going to do that in the first place, but this sounds worse than I thought.
Yeah.
I say very quietly to my friends.
Gulp. I've got an idea.
Yes.
If you'll allow me.
Lead the way, Ambassador Yarru.
All right. I am going to attempt to rely on my skills and training. Out of the three of us, I am the most diplomatically trained. I've worked with the other families for years. I'm going to be honest. I have already written off this... family-friendly podcast. I've written off this fool.
Yes.
I was going to swear in German, but, we've got listeners all over the world, so...
We have a surprising number of listeners in Germany, yes.
This Foolenheim.
I've already written off this fool, this former protector, so would you all mind terribly if we got up there and made our first action in the surprise of arriving on the deck?
Yes. Is there a way we can get the hostage away safely before dipping into the action? Because there are three of us, and I'm not very good at fighting, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
I'm quite happy to be surrounded by the ocean.
Yeah.
If our friend ends up in the water, I can probably help them get to land.
That's fine for you, but this ship's made of metal, and you can't bend metal.
Bend metal?
That's impossible. You have to be like the greatest earthbender of all time to do that. Anyway.
Also, how will we know who is who in the water?
I'm not planning to bend the metal. Much like the wind, the water wears through most things, so I think I can probably... You pointed out those cracks and holes in the hull that I may be able to make. I don't know if you know this, but when water freezes, it expands. And that is quite a powerful force if I were to freeze some water in those holes.
Yeah, I did not know that. I was spending too much time in seedy taverns, to be honest.
You are your brother's brother.
I'm a rascal. Look, I'm a rascal.
You are not a rascal. You are a good boy.
Thank you.
All right. I am going to step forward and do a bow quickly and say, Flameo, Hotman.
You have correctly identified. This is a Fire Nation man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're so good at this.
And I would like to rely on my skills and training, and we are amenable to this idea of joining your nation. The Jasmine Island has always remained apart, but with the protections provided, obviously you are an impressive force. Might we come aboard to perhaps hash out some of the details, taxation, conscription, things like that? Would you allow us to board?
I think he is feeling amenable enough that he would not be opposed to that. Is there something that you're trying to get, like, sort of underhandedly that you would be rolling for, relying on your skills and training?
With the proper greeting and the terminology, I'm hoping that he really swallows the hook of, okay, we can let our guard down. This will just be like, captain talking with some people while the crew kind of goes about their business.
Yeah, I think it probably does fall under the purview of your skills and training, where you are a highly ranked military member, where you are a very regarded person on the island, where you have this sort of diplomatic, you're a mother, there's that aspect of it as well. I think that we can put this under your skills and training. There are two separate kind of like catch-all moves in this game for if they don't fall under anything else: rely on your skills and training and push your luck. Pushing your luck, if it's something that's just completely kind of out of the left field, maybe it's not necessarily in your purview, you can always try to push your luck, but that's more of a high risk, high reward, because it's always going to be a little bit complicated, but you might get a better payoff for it. But rely on your skills and training is just like, yes, I know how to do this, I've prepared for this, I can make that happen. So let's have you roll 2d6 plus focus.
Nice.
Hey, yo, love to see that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
There we go. On a hit, you do it. So, with like the surprise of Io coming out and just saying, yep, we're here to join you, we don't like the protectors, and now you backing this up, where first it was like, this is just a ragamuffin child getting into seedy taverns in the streets of Ba Sing Se. I've dealt with these guys before, but now that he has this like respectable older figure there to back it up as well, you see his posture noticeably relax a little bit. And he actually reaches up and undoes the top button of his tunic as he kind of lets out a big sigh and says, yes, certainly, do come up onto the deck and we can begin getting into our arrangements. If you would like to speak with Tagaka herself, that could possibly be arranged as well. She is in the captain's quarters, of course, but might be persuaded to come out to speak with you.
Yes, we'd love to have another piece of the puzzle as we move forward in these negotiations.
All right. Now, as you are moving forward, they're letting down a ladder for you to climb up to get into the ship itself. Would you guys like to use your second question from Assess a Situation at this point, or do you want to hold on to it for a little bit longer?
Yes, let us do that. What here can I use to get close to the hostage, TM?
Yes. If you can find a reasonable excuse for why maybe one of you should go talk to Tagaka to help out with negotiations and whatnot, while the other two of you maybe start, inspecting the ship, getting to know the rest of the crew, blah, 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 we could kind of split forces a little bit and maybe work something out that way. It could potentially be a bit more dangerous for the one person who is going to be left doing negotiations, or maybe you leave two people to do negotiations, send one person off on their own. It's up to you.
I would like to speak with this prisoner of yours and try and move them over to our way of seeing things. Perhaps they don't know why we need liberation on Jasmine Island. Those wretched protectors. Wretched.
Eric Tay kind of furrows his brows. You speak of the inventor?
Yes, we were told there was somebody held here on this boat by that stupid Fire Nation woman. I yelled towards the shore. She was going on and on about how this person was taken against their will, I think we can get them over to our side of seeing things. If we, the downtrodden and abused protectors, were to speak to them, perhaps myself, as I was sorely abused by the Order, perhaps I could get them over to being here voluntarily, making more stuff for you for free, or I don't know.
The inventor is a little bit insane. I don't know why you want to.
Aren't we all, dude?
By all accounts, he kind of leans in a little bit closer. By all accounts, insofar as I can tell, she doesn't seem to mind being kidnapped. I mean, none of us are honestly really sure what she does on this ship even. She's always down there tinkering in the engine room, making all kinds of wretched contraptions. Every time she asks one of us to help her test one of them, oh dear, the number of people we've had to haul out of the briny blue. I mean, she's kind of harmless, I think. If you want to, I guess you could go talk to her.
I mean, I've always thought gears and cogs are hot, if you know what I'm saying, fellow hotmen, so that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll say, though you have fully won over Eric Tay, one of the things that you've maybe kind of started to pick up on a little bit is sort of a division of opinions here on the ship, a tension, a factionalization, that Eric Tay here seems to want to go into things pretty diplomatically, and there are certainly people who are going to be supporting him. But Tagaka seems like wants to just come in here with force, take over the place, doesn't really care about the impact on the people of the island. So even though you've won over Eric Tay with your wiles and your rascally charms, there are going to be other people, like, in fact, the guy who kind of called out, we was going to make them all slaves. He comes walking up, he's like, now, Eric Tay, what would Tagaka think if you just send these strangers down to talk to the inventor? I think that might be a bad idea.
You dare speak with your captain like that?
Well, it depends on how well you do to roll to trick an NPC now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Here I go. Okay, well, that's a 1. Hang on, I dropped the other
Can
one.
we help him? Is this something he can be helped with?
I got this.
Yes, after they roll, we can help.
Okay, I got a 1 and a 5, so I got a 9 altogether.
9 altogether.
With creativity.
So that gives us a partial success, but if one of you wants to mark a fatigue and describe how you help, that could bump it up to a full success.
Help me.
Can I, lean over and discreetly, elbow him in the side and be like, you know, gears are really hot when you know how to work with them, and I happen to be a tinkerer myself. And
man.
I'm gonna do a little fire with my hands, showing I can totally weld things, guys.
But I wanted to meet the crazy lady.
Why don't you both go? And
Okay.
that'll be the help. I'll speak with the captain. You two run along and play with your toys.
Yeah, toys. Let's go.
You see, listeners, this is why when Magpie Games wrote this adventure, they didn't try to plot out a specific way that the story was supposed to end, because no writer of an adventure could have predicted that this was how it was going to go.
They couldn't see Connor coming.
Nobody can predict Connor.
Nice try, Magpie Games.
So, we're going to pop you off, guys, into kind of split off into 2 sections. We'll say that Erkte is going to go with Yarru and take you to go meet with Tagaka, while the sort of dissident character, I'm going to come up with a name for him real quick from my DM screen here. This guy's name is Shabao.
Xiaobao.
Good name. Shabao.
Yeah, he comes in, Shabao, I'm going to come with you guys down to make sure you aren't doing anything too crazy.
Okay.
Under the decks here, you know, it's a tight ship we're running here.
Yeah, this is pretty tight. Am I right? I gotta give him one of these. Yeah, Shabao.
Oh, wait. Actually, I forgot, with rolling to trick an NPC, there are specific mechanical effects that do come from this. On a full success, you get to pick 2. They stumble, take +1 forward to acting against them. They act foolishly, the GM tells you what opportunity they give you. They overcommit, they are deceived for some time. This guy intends to follow you down under the deck. You might be able to modify that.
Let's have him act foolishly. Dance for me, Shabao.
Dance, you say? Well, it's not often, you know. I was involved in the Ember Island Players back in my youth. It's not often I get a chance
That's a
to...
good name.
Yes, not often I get a chance to strut my stuff. Not many of the other people here on the ship are appreciators of fine art, you might say. If you just hang on here for just a moment, he goes running over to the rigging, and he starts doing a silks performance from the rigging.
He's very good.
Is he actually good?
I'm going to roll for Shabao to see if he is good. Nice fortune roll. He thinks he's good.
That's probably why he left, because he sucks at it.
Yeah, so this guy is fully into it. He is very distracted by his own performance at this point. And would you like to take +1 forward to acting against him, or would you like to have him overcommit and be deceived for some time?
Overcommit. Keep dancing, Shabbat.
Shabbat.
You don't have to ask me twice. Shabbat. So yeah, he's putting on the performance of his life here on the deck, leaving the two of you free to start heading down below. I'm going to roll a die to see who we're going to follow after first. 1 to 3, we go to Tagaka's quarters. 4 through 6, we go down below. That is a 6. So as you start heading down through one of the hatches to a lower deck, I'm going to, I wouldn't be me if I didn't hack in random rules from other RPGs that I like. So I'm going to pull in something from Unlimited Dungeons, which is a hack of Dungeon World. And this in particular was modified from The Perilous Wild by Jason Lutez.
Thank you, Jason.
So this is called Dungeon Crawl. When you start entering into an unfamiliar and potentially dangerous location, such as a pirate ship.
Whoa.
So when you enter the dungeon, I will start a dungeon clock. This is going to be a 6 clock. This represents how alert the ship is to the fact that you guys are in the dungeon doing nefarious stuff that they wouldn't want you to be doing. So at various points throughout your dungeon crawl, we might mark some ticks on the dungeon clock to increase the awareness of the crew, and the more aware they become, the more directly they will act against you to try and stop you from getting down to meet Tei Soni. Now, you only need to get 3 points of progress to make it down to the bottom, and you can gain progress by using the Dungeon Crawl move. When you delve into the unknown regions of a dungeon, whoever's leading the way rolls +1 if the way is illuminated or you don't need to carry a light source. We'll say that yes, it is. This is a very technologically advanced Fire Nation ship. Also, you have a firebender with you.
Yup.
+1 if you've been to this place before, or if you have a map of the place. Neither of those are in effect.
Yeah.
And +1 if the enemies here are unalert, distracted, or have recently retreated or suffered defeat. They are, in fact, pretty unalert to you guys at this point. You have very strongly defused their suspicions, so whoever's leading the way is going to roll +2, 2d6 +2.
You lead the way. You got the fire, even though we don't need it. But I'm nervous. You go first.
You want me to have fire anyway?
Yeah.
Just make you more comfortable?
Yes, please.
I have like my thumb, like a lighter, just like with a little flame on top.
Yeah.
All right, 2d6 +2.
Oh, you should not have had me lead. I rolled a 1 and a 2, plus 2 is 5.
All right.
The lights go out.
I burn myself.
Even if you do assist with that, that is not going to bring it up to a partial success. On a 6 or lower, fill 1 dungeon clock segment, so we're already at 1 out of 6 filled. Going to make note of that. And you will be at a disadvantage in the next room, with the person who led the way being placed most directly in harm's way. You get down onto the lower deck, like you're moving along, just kind of like, okay, I think Natsuki, you're running all through your head of like, okay, social propriety, I need to act like I belong here, but if I act too comfortable, people are going to notice that and they're going to think that's weird, but I don't act comfortable enough and I'm not going to be able to breeze my way past. And you're like walking down this set of stairs, and suddenly the stairs get bumped from the side because there's like a fighting ring set up down here on this lower level of the deck. There's 2 guys in the middle just bare knuckle going at it. In fact, we'll say it's kind of like there's a little bit of an elevated platform, and in the style of the Dao Fei gangs of Ba Sing Se and across other regions of the Earth Kingdom, they're up on the top of a Leitai, and there is a dispute going on between these 2 guys, and they are resolving their dispute in front of their peers. So, like, somebody who was just watching on the sidelines got hit by a blast of water from one of the combatants and knocked into the staircase, and the staircase gets topped over with both of the 2 of you going down it. So you land in a jumble with this very upset pirate who looks down at both of you. The 2 of you are lying side by side. He's kind of in push-up position over the top of you with your necks underneath one of each of his biceps. And he's just like, "Oh, newbies, what brings you down here? You want to get in on this fight?"
Oh,
It seems you've already got yourself out of the fight. You call that a parry? That was embarrassing. I am the new coach for this league. I got this, Natsuki.
Roll to trick an NPC.
Okay, I got a 10.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you to give me a little bit of extra narrative effort. Give me an actionable reason why this guy would be inclined to believe that you are his new coach.
I'm one of the badger moles from Jasmine Island. That's right, we're one of the spies. The reason I caught Eric Tay's attention, running secret underground fighting rings. And that was a pitiful display.
All right, so on a full success, choose 2.
Yes. Overcorrects for sure.
To see for some time.
And may act foolishly. Yes. I come from the big leagues, kid. I'm a child prodigy in underground fighting.
Yes, the GM tells you what additional opportunity they give you. Okay, well, the people here have been looking for a real good show. We haven't seen a real good show in a while, and you look like the kind of person who could show them a real good show.
Yeah.
He gets up from his fallen position, grabs you by the lapels, and pushes you into the center and says, "This guy here is going to show us what real fighting is all about."
Natsuki, go! I got this!
Okay, I'm gonna run out.
Yep.
All right.
That's right. I come from the underground fighting ring of Ba Sing Se. They call me... are there any rocks or stones or soil around?
Yeah, I'll say there's some coal in some barrels that would be used to feed the furnace that powers this ship.
Okay, they call me. I strike a pose and draw like a rock. Rocky.
I'm imagining the visual equivalent to Aang doing that little like air trick where he's
yeah, with the marbles.
You put on this display, and from the darkness behind the ring of people on the far side, you see a pair of hands reach in and just part the sea. This man steps up between all of the spectators onto the lei, and he's got a good 2 feet on you as he looks down. He's not necessarily the widest, but you can tell that though his muscles are not huge, they are very taut, and there's a lot of power in them. He's got a bandana wrapped low over his eyebrows, and a large jagged scar coming down from one side of his face, from beneath the bandana all the way down to his jaw, shirtless, his hands wrapped in stained scraps of canvas. And he says, "They call me Fracture."
Cool. I like my nickname more. I like twing the little coal back to the coal pile.
Natsuki, what are you doing as you escape from this situation?
I imagine I'm just like kind of, staying on the ground low, backing my way out of the door, trying to not be noticed. Does that work for me?
Yeah, they're completely distracted. That's the additional opportunity that we were given by
Sweet.
Connor tricking this NPC.
I don't know if it matters that much, but Io's like 5'4", so.
Okay, so yeah, this guy's only 7'4" then. It's completely normal.
No. Can I assess to figure out if he's actually fine with me leaving? Like, is he gonna die if I leave?
I gave you one of these. Ding. 2 thumbs up while I was being pulled into the fighting ring.
I barely know this guy.
Yeah.
Like, am I confident in him right now? On the other hand, I'm not emotionally invested in him, so yeah, I'll sneak out.
If he dies, you won't be that guilty.
Yeah, it'll be great. All right, so you get down to, there's kind of a hallway at the far end of this large common area, and there are rooms off to both sides. You can see at the very far end, there's a staircase going even further down. So let's have you roll 2d6 plus 2 again to delve further into the unknown regions of this dungeon.
Guys, I switched to Thomas's questionably loaded dice because
Nice.
the avatar dice were doing me dirty. And this time I've got a 13.
Oh, thank
There
you,
you
Thomas.
go.
Yep, still loaded. If you want some good loaded dice, get the official Blades in the Dark dice. Holy cow. All right, so on a full success, choose 2 of the following options. Now, there is only one of these is going to let you mark a point of progress towards getting getting to your goal ultimately, and that is this. The area head is unique somehow and or connected to a theme of the dungeon. The GM will describe it and may also prompt you for input. The GM will then make an appropriate dungeon move, and you gain 1 progress towards your goal. The other 2 options are, you're in an advantageous position to face whatever threat lies ahead, describe how after the GM describes the next area, or clear 1 dungeon clock segment and describe how you secure or mark the path or find a notable landmark.
I get 2 of those?
Correct.
Nice.
Well, I obviously want the one that marks progress, so we'll start there. Let me think on the other one. So can we do that first and then?
Yeah. So you start moving towards the far end. You're kind of like listening at doors along the way to hear if you can pick up on any like clanging, hammering, welding noises. And you hear just a lot of muttering, and one person's like, but she broke up with me the other night, and she still works here on the ship, and we can't avoid each other, and it's so rough.
Pirate problems.
And you're like, okay, not get involved in that. You go down to another one, and it's just like, oh, aren't you just the prettiest little guy? Aren't you the sweetest little panda hamster I ever did see? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Maybe these are the good guys.
But making it to the stairway, you can hear, like, down the curve, the next landing on the stairwell, you can hear voices coming up. One person is like, well, it sounds kind of like Erkte is trying to maybe usurp Tagaka's authority, which seems like a bad idea because do you know how many people she has killed before they even had a chance to take a breath? Like, this guy, I mean, he's bold. I gotta give him that. And another voice is like, well, are you gonna side with one of them? Well, I don't know. I mean, they're both, like, Erkte, he's taking on a difficult position, that's for sure, but he's wily. He knows his way around a situation. I don't know, maybe we just kind of, like, sit and watch and see how things start to play out, and then whichever one looks like it's the winning team, that's the one we go with. Sounds like a good idea to me. And so, like, this conversation is kind of continuing on as you are at the top of the stairwell here.
I want to pick the advantageous position thing for my second.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
yes. You're in an advantageous position. Describe how after the GM describes the next area. So you get to tell me what your advantageous position is as you face these 2.
So those guys are there talking about that, but like, am I in the room like they can see me?
They have not seen you yet. You're still at the top of the stairwell. They're on the landing just below you, kind of around the next bend.
Okay. I feel like my advantageous position. What can you describe like what else is in the room?
Yeah, it's a pretty bare, like utilitarian sort of hallway, but there is like along the walls some attempt at like giving this some pirate flair. So you see people have hung up like pelts of various creatures that they've caught along the way. There's lines, there's weapons, bits of clothing that have been kind of tacked up along the walls. So lots of disguise material potentially.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, I'm gonna go down and start like gathering some of these things off of the walls and say like, I'm gonna pretend that Erkte just gave me orders to come down here and rearrange everything in this room.
All right. And so they see you for just a moment and they stop talking. But then you kind of wave them off. You're like, oh, yeah, just moving stuff around. And they're like, okay, yeah, okay. So, yeah, you are in an advantageous position. Do you want to continue to try and listen in on these guys, interact with them, or do you just want to move straight past further on towards the goal?
I'm focused on finding our prisoners, so I am going to just like go through.
All right.
But I am going to complain the whole time so that they think I'm part of the crew. And I'm just going to be like, ugh, I can't believe Erkte keeps giving me all of these stupid chores to do. Isn't he the worst?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's like, yeah, he's kind of bad. He's very authoritarian, but he knows his way around a situation. You got to admit, he's wily.
But does he know his way around interior design? And I'm going to hold up everything.
And they both just like Mordecai and Rigby from Regular Show. Oh! And you continue down to an even lower deck. And now that we've touched in with Ayo and Natsuki, Yarru, you are being led straight to the captain's quarters in the, I can never remember the official like nautical pronunciation, the aft castle, whatever you call it. There are people who are going to be angry at me for how I pronounce that. But Erkte leads you right up to the door. And when he places his hand on the knob, he kind of stops and takes in a deep breath, like puts his hand in front of his face with his fingers together, draws it down, takes in a big breath, looks at you, nods, and opens the door. and there is an instant chill as soon as you step through the doorway.
Ooh.
It's like the same effect as like when you walk out of an airport in Georgia, but the opposite. You walk into this room and instantly you feel the moisture just like getting wicked off of your skin. This unnatural chill surrounds you and starts gnawing its way into your bones. And you move closer into this very dimly lit chamber, and you start to look around and see the various trappings of a Water Nation tribesman. You can see the pelts hung along the walls and on the floors. You can see the traditional artworks and carvings put around the place. It seems that Tagaka has taken this space and really just made herself very at home. She herself is seated behind a nicely carved desk. One of the few things that you've seen here that isn't just made out of metal is the desk that was put here. It does have Fire Nation motifs carved into it, flames going up the legs and dancing across the various bits of panel work on it. But she has her boots just right up on top of it, still caked in mud from the last time she was on the land, completely disregarding the beauty of this piece of furniture that she has taken for her own. And as you start walking in closer, she looks at you with her eyes, and you get the sense that she's already decided 4 ways she could kill you on the spot. And as she kind of looks you up and down, she gives a somewhat respecting nod and says, "North Pole or South Pole?"
Would I know where she's from?
Yes, you have heard the tales. You know that she has self-appointed herself with various titles such as the Marquess of the Eastern Sea, the Pirate Queen of the Southern Ocean, the Waterborne Guardian of the South Pole, all of these accolades that she has given herself over the years, and, you know, kind of proven her salt in being worthy of those titles, but you would know that she is a Southern Water Tribe person.
I got that vibe with the trappings and everything like that. That felt more Southern Water Tribe to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived my whole life on Jasmine Island, but my family traces its roots back to actually a small section in the Earth Kingdom. There's some swamps there that we come from.
She raises her eyebrows. A part of our culture I have not been blessed as to become acquainted with, I must say. Perhaps we can share a bit of culture with each other. And she takes her boots down off the desk and leans forward, both elbows up on the table, has her fingers kind of interlaced, putting her chin on top of them. You can see various scars laced all up and down her forearms and her hands. And you recognize yourself some, like, punctures of bite wounds from when she was trying to hunt down in the Arctic Ocean, various places where a sword has completely run through one of her forearms and left some very, very gnarly scars on the way in there. And she reaches out with a bit of water from a barrel and uses it to grasp onto. She freezes it around the leg of a chair that is kind of off to the side and pulls it down right in front of the desk, melts the ice, puts it back in the barrel, and says, "Please do have a seat."
I very properly smooth my dress, and I walk over and I sit down and I cross my ankles. I am glad that we met. I've heard stories of you, but they do not do you justice.
She gives a very self-satisfied smile and says, "Well, I have not heard stories about yourself, but perhaps we can change that."
I, as I said, have lived my whole life on Jasmine Island. We have our own internal politics, squabbles, far beneath the notice of someone as high as yourself, of course. But with your interest in our humble island, I thought perhaps a friendly ear, someone who knows the local riffraff, and might be able to help you ease the transition to your amiable rule.
I assure you there are none who know the seas better than the Bloody Flail herself.
Ooh.
I would be happy to hear about the inner politics, the squabbles that you speak of, as surely we can use that to our advantage, as you are now a member of the Fifth Nation, yes?
Of course, assuming you accept us. I do not doubt your prowess on the sea, and while we are surrounded, that land has claim over the people there, and I hope that my knowledge of that land can be an asset to you.
There are many great assets to be found on this island, to be sure, for there is no other soil which can grow the golden jasmine that brings in such a high price. I am in need of such assets to rebuild my financial power. You see, too many of my ships were destroyed by the Avatar, foolish young girl, and I need to build up my resources again a little bit. You know the value of what is grown on the island, and we need to make sure that that production continues undeterred, and that the people continue to put in the work to produce even more.
As a show of good faith, would you like me to tell you the secret of why jasmine tea only grows here?
You had my interest. Now you have my attention.
In the middle of the island, there is a shrine, older than any memory can trace it. The shape of a turtle's shell. If someone like yourself were to acquire that shell and relocate it perhaps to somewhere with more land, somewhere where you might be able to conscript even more laborers, our island would simply become another unnotable dot on a map within your boundless kingdom.
I'm going to ask you, Christian, because this is improv tabletop and I love me a bit of collaborative world building, is there actually such a shrine on the island?
There is a shrine. It is not the source of anything. It is just one that was built well within remembered history. Just an old shrine. That doesn't do anything really. But I am lying.
All right. Now, we have established you being a negotiator, the way that you dealt with Erkte earlier. I think let's have you once again rely on your skills and training. It probably should, rules as written, be trick an NPC, but I want to throw you a bit of a bone because you are terrible at creativity.
I am so bad at creativity, I need focus.
Yeah, man, you stink.
And she lowers one eyebrow and says, "The spirits, you say? It is the spirits that grow the tea."
And as far as I know, I'm making this up. I know that there is the shrine,
What if she's right on accident?
but I'm just trying to, I'm like, okay, I can pull from what I know. So I'm doing the best lie I can, which is mostly the truth.
All right.
And I will roll.
2d6 plus focus.
There you go. 10. Exactly.
Heyo.
At this point, Erkte, for the first time since you entered in, pipes up. He steps a little bit closer to the desk and says, "My queen, you know that the spirits are not to be so easily dismissed. They exist. It is not deniable. Who's to say that the spirits do not influence this island, and that this shrine might not have the power that is spoken of by our new ally?" And she leans back again in her chair and says, "Well, with the right sort of negotiation, we might not need to even try to conquer this island.
Nice.
But where's the fun in that?"
As your kingdom grows and your pool of advisors swells, I would be more than privileged to join their ranks if you will accept a small token of advice now. As I have spent my life growing these fields and tending to these plants, I have had to learn an enormous amount of patience, and the satisfaction of seeing a field bursting with life, or in your case, a kingdom ruled over and held comfortably. I can imagine no more joy than that.
On a hit, you do it. She stands up and extends a hand towards you. "Then I believe our pact is sealed."
Would you mind terribly if I brought my two allies in to witness this agreement, this historic moment? Or perhaps we could do it in front of the crew, to assuage any doubt in their mind that this is your will.
A display of force is always good for morale. Very well, let's hop to it. And she leaps over the desk in a single bound, starts walking towards the doorway to get onto the deck. And with that, I think that is where we're going to pick up next time on Jasmine Island.
Awesome.
What are we doing?
Our best.
We're going to find out what we're doing.
This is not how I think it was supposed to go.
You don't say.
No, I think this is going pretty good.
Oh, man. Well, here's, audience, just to Christian's credit, the complete placidity and coolness with which he was delivering this. I was like, man, Christian knows what he's doing. He's got a plan. Turns out maybe he doesn't.
I am flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a dress.
Unlike me, who totally has a plan.
Yes. All right. Well, with our party split completely in 3 different ways.
Rule number 1.
What a nightmare.
We're so good at this.
I mean, hey, nothing's broken bad yet. And if you can keep it from breaking bad, well, you're gonna keep it from breaking bad, I'm sure. Everybody, thanks for listening to Improv Tabletop. We'll be back next time with more adventures in the world of Jasmine Island. If you want more, go ahead and subscribe, maybe even give us a review. We would be as happy as a bunch of ragtag pirates who are about to have the fighting show of their life if you go ahead and give us a review on the podcatcher of your choice. We have a bunch of social media accounts that probably aren't being actively monitored at the time you're listening to this, but you can message us there and I'll probably read it. A more consistent way to contact me would be to email us at improvtabletop@gmail.com. And another way to get in touch with us is through our Patreon, which means it's time to shout out our next batch of Sticker Club patrons.
Oh, yeah.
And the people we're shouting out this week are Noah Dion, Paul Cosgrove, and Sammy Ryan.
Whoa. Get shouted.
Sounds like a nerd, guys.
I mean, gotta be if you're listening to this podcast. Being a patron of this podcast, even, that's another level entirely.
Yeah.
Yes, these 3 are the people who are leading the construction of the barricade back in the bay, sort of the main barricade that is going to be theoretically taking the brunt of the attack from the pirates, who have so much faith, so much faith in their protectors, who just this morning swore an oath, a sacred oath to the dear fox spirit, that they were going to take care of this island. They know that they're going to figure it out. Their confidence gives you strength. That's the thing from Trolls. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Your confidence gives you strength.
Yes, your confidence gives you strength. Or something.
Yep, their confidence is going to give you strength as you move into this next session. We're going to have more Sticker Club patrons to shout out next week, and if you, dear listener, want to join their ranks, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/improvtabletop, where you can also get things like Discord access, biannual sticker packs, and more, such as our current ongoing patron-exclusive campaign, Serpent Sea Sagas.
Yes.
If you want to see an example of a campaign in a system that this dungeon crawl move is actually designed specifically for, then in the next couple episodes of Serpent Sea Sagas, we should be doing some dungeon crawling there as well.
Sweet.
Trying to enter into the Vault of Thorns, a druidic demiplane sandwiched between the material plane and the elemental chaos, trying to find a segment of the Rainbow Spear. If that sounds intriguing to you, go check that out on our Patreon, in fact. Now, let's do a round of plugs. Christian, would you take that this time around?
Absolutely. We have our sister podcast, I Cast Fireball, currently on a hiatus.
Correct.
But that just means that they have a backlog like you would not believe. A backlog to make a beaver jealous. There is so much to devour there.
Baby got backlog.
Oh, yeah.
We also have our partnership with Van Roll Dice. They've got more dice than a beaver knows what to do with. You can always use the code VroomVroomFifi for a 10% discount at checkout, and that helps support what we do. And then, of course, the most important plug of all, Cats. Not the musical.
Good.
The furry little friends.
And the musical.
Our most adorable babies. They are all perfect and can do nothing wrong, and they deserve all the love and kisses in the world.
True and true.
I approve of this message. Well, everybody, thanks so much for joining us here in the world of Jasmine Island. I'm Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I've been joined by
Christian Randall. I wish I had pants.
Connor Wood. I'm glad Christian doesn't have pants.
Sammy Ryan. I also wish Christian had pants.
Much love and stuff, everybody. We'll catch you next time on Improv Tabletop.
Come on, Yarru. Let's go meet the crazy lady.
Oh no, I'm gonna
No,
go.
Yarru's meeting the other lady.
Oh yeah, you're Yarru. Never mind.
Natsuki.
I'm not Suki.
Right. Come on, Natsuki. This way. Up.